So today I want to guide you through a really calming and reflective creative journal activity that helps create a little more space inside our mind. So for this exercise, you will need your journal or a piece of paper, something to draw with, some scissors or an X-Acto knife. If you're using an X-Acto knife, you will need a mat, so you can place the mat underneath the paper. And you will need your magazines for collage, but this is optional. You don't have to have your magazines for this activity. First, on the right hand side of your page, I will invite you to draw a large outline of a head. And it doesn't need to look realistic at all. Or if you're not confident with drawing, a simple circle will be absolutely fine. Once you've drawn the head, spend a few quiet moments checking in with yourself. What's currently taking up space in your mind? You might have thoughts like, I have so much to do, or I'm behind, or perhaps, what if things don't work out? And spend as much time as you need writing down those thoughts. You can also have emotional thoughts like, I feel overwhelmed, I'm tired, or I wish I could slow down. Maybe there's self-doubt, anxiety, mental clutter. Or maybe just a constant stream of noise, which you can represent by doodling, for example. When we don't have words for our feelings or thoughts, we can simply doodle or scribble or make spirals, squiggly lines. You can also use your colors and, for example, and make marks. Just let the page hold what your mind has been carrying. Then spend a little time with your page, noticing things. You could actually either underline the repetitive thoughts or anything that stands out. I will invite you on the left-hand side of your page to write down what you noticed. It doesn't have to be long, just a few sentences, with the starter sentence, when I look at my head, I notice, for example. It could be another starter sentence. And all the sentences I've added in the description box below. So when I look at my head or my mind, I notice. Once you have completed this page, we're now going to cut the outline of the head. So for this, you can either use an X-Acto knife, and then you'd have to place a mat underneath and then cut all around it. Or you can simply use scissors. You would like to be able to open and close the head. Then notice the blank space behind it. How does it feel to look behind the busy mind? And then spend some time opening and closing the flap as many times as you need to. For example, my thoughts haven't completely gone, but there is a new opening, there is more space. there is another possibility. It is less busy. So carry on writing as many words as you want. Of course, you don't want to make this another busy space, but it's about writing your new feelings. It's about noticing. Maybe it feels peaceful, maybe relieving, maybe unfamiliar. And pause for a moment and see what comes up for you emotionally when you look at this empty space. And perhaps what you can do is create an affirmation using the words that are in the empty space. You could either write the affirmation here at the top and then you're good to go. Or you can spend longer creating a full collage with beautiful images, colors or textures and words that represent peace, grounding, hope or emotional safety. And your collage doesn't have to be perfect. You can just stick patterns, images, textures anywhere. Really have fun with this and enjoy the process as much as you can. As I was completing my collage, I noticed that there was a lot of water and a lot of blue. And I just felt like adding more blue to the page. So I went and got some various washi tapes that I have here and just carrying on decorating the page with the color blue. So it's really about playing, it's about taking your time, it's about enjoying the process as much as you can. It's also about noticing what is emerging from this process. Are you having new thoughts, new insights? It's also about playing and using the various mediums that you have. Perhaps you have a stash of washi tapes you haven't used in a long time, or some paints or markers that you love to use and you haven't used in a long time. And so this is a bit of a free space where you can explore and use all your favorite mediums. You are allowing yourself to play, you are allowing yourself to explore, and that creates an opening towards something a bit more quiet perhaps, or a bit more spacious or soft perhaps. There's an interesting activity that you can do if you have time, is to randomly find words. So you could be flicking your magazine and closing your eyes as you flick your magazine, and then put your finger on a word. And what you do is you do this with several words, say up to 5 words, and they don't have to make sense. And then once you have found your words, you go back to your page. You can just place the words on the left-hand side and see what comes out. And you might find that that brings a little humor to the process. If you feel drawn to it and you fancy a little serendipity, you can place them as they are and then invite those words to tell you a message. So it could be something like, I feel comfort when I take a seat. I can nurture. I can nurture myself more, and perhaps I need a change. Something along those lines. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything arty. It doesn't have to be anything extraordinary. But you can simply pick a few words and stick them onto this side of your journal, or simply write an affirmation or a single word or nothing at all. It's really what you feel drawn to. What is really interesting about this exercise is the physical act of opening and closing the flap. You can see both realities. You can see the noisy mind that still exists. The thoughts are still there, but behind them, there is also another possibility. A quieter space, a gentler space perhaps, a more compassionate space. We're not pretending difficult thoughts don't exist. We're simply reminding ourselves that they are not the only thing within us. And creativity helps us create alternatives. It helps us shift perspective. It helps us reconnect with ourselves in a softer way, perhaps. Before we finish, I tend to write a small reflection at the bottom of the page and ask myself, what small step can I take today to create more space in my mind? Maybe it's resting more. Maybe it's nurturing myself more. Perhaps it's setting boundaries, going outside, creating regularly, asking for support, slowing down, whatever feels honest for you right now. The next step, literally, is to write it down. The step that came up, I will slow down and allow myself more time. I really hope this activity helped you feel even a tiny bit lighter, or perhaps calmer, or more connected to yourself. And if you try this activity, I'd love to hear how it felt for you. Until next time, take gentle care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon. Bye.